Okay, in this video we're going to learn how to update our LTSP client chroot file system. We get a lot of questions regarding updating the client file system over on irc.freenode.net in the LTSP channel. There's a really good wiki article that coincidentally I wrote, haha, there's a little plug there for you, regarding the updating of the client file system. I'm just going to log in here real quick. We're going to go over this in a video now, just to make it that much easier. Basically, it's a really good idea to update your client file system just like you would want to update your server file system. You want to have the same versions of packages, the same code running on the client side and on the server side, including the kernel and things like that. So we're going to go and update our client file system. I'm going to take you through doing that from basically a pristine LTSP server install. So we're going to open up our terminal, which is basically how I enjoy configuring things on LTSP. This is really kind of the only way to do it with LTSP type stuff. There might be graphical interfaces to do this at a future date, but for all intents and purposes, this works perfect. So we're going to use the shell. We use the shell for a lot of stuff here. So anyway, we're going to take a look at a few files here first. Let's take a look at our server's sources.list file. This is the list of all Ubuntu repositories and other repositories, if you have them enabled, that basically allow us to install software with either the application's add remove program through the Synaptech package manager, or through just apt-get from the command line, which personally I like the best. Anyway, we've got our main repositories enabled here. We've got our Hardy updates. We've got our universe packages, multiverse, partner, backports, all that other stuff. This is basically a default sources list file for 8.04.1 for the server itself. Let's take a look at another file here. This is our LTSP file systems sources list file. This is a little more bare than the server's file system. Basically, the only thing that we need to do to update our file system is to copy the server sources list file over to the client chroot. I should probably put the copy command in front of that. So we're copying the server's sources.list file over to the LTSP client file system. Okay. So now, if we look back at it, this is a mirror image. So now the next thing that we want to do to make sure that when we are actually updating the client file system that any daemons that are trying to be restarted in the client file system don't try to do that, because it's going to actually try and do it on the server file system. By doing this, export LTSP underscore handle daemons equals false. This is going to prevent the LTSP chroot during the update process from trying to actually restart services or daemons that aren't actually running while we're doing this. They'd be running on a LTSP client, but not necessarily from what we're doing here. So that's pretty important to do. So the next thing we're going to do is to actually chroot into our client file system. Okay. So here's our client file system. The next thing that we need to do is mount our proc file system. That's necessary for a lot of packages that are being installed and upgraded and whatnot. So we're going to mount our actual client chroot proc. And actually, I don't think that shows it. So we'll disregard what I just did there as far as the df command. So the next thing we want to do is apt-get update. And this is going to pull with our newly copied sources.list file. It's going to pull all of the available packages for download and upgrade. And once we have this nice, shiny, fresh, new sources list file, we are going to do apt-get dist upgrade. And as you can see, the client file system, from basically a pristine 8.04.1 install to the actual current packages that are available. Today's September 29th, 2009. We've got 105 packages to upgrade, including things like, where is it? I know that there's one here. Linux image generic. There's a new kernel. This is really important to do. So we're going to pull all this stuff down. We're going to wait for all this stuff to install. So we will see you in a second. Alright, we're almost done installing our packages, or downloading them rather. Should take just a few more seconds to install everything here in our client chroot. So we're just going to watch all of this stuff install because it's really exciting. Like I said, there's a lot of files that get updated, so it's a really good idea to do this. I basically try to align updating my client chroots on all the servers that I administrate along with the server itself. You know, it's always good to just have packages that are in sync with each other. So if you're going to be upgrading your server, updating your server, just make it a point to update your client chroot as well, just so you don't run into any expected problems. You'll see a few things about dev PTS not mounted. You can basically disregard that. There's an Ubuntu bug report about that. It's basically just informational stuff. It's not going to break anything. I've verified this with a couple of different LTSP developers. And other than stuff like that, it pretty much runs just like a normal server package update. Once we're done actually installing these packages, there's going to be a few other things that we do that are specific to LTSP to actually get this stuff into an NBD image for our clients to reboot into. We also need to update our kernels in the TFTP directory so they download the latest kernel when they're first booting via Pixie. And at that point, basically, we'll be done and we'll have brand new shiny packages for our clients. Okay, we're done here. I like to do an apt-get clean, just because. We're going to exit out of our client chroot, so that'll bring us back to our server file system. The next thing we want to do is update our kernels with a special LTSP command. LTSP update kernels. And like I said, that updates our TFTP directories with the latest kernel that we just downloaded. We're going to unmount the proc file system from the chroot because it's actually still mounted. You know, sometimes I run into this right here too. The device is busy. I'm not sure exactly what causes that, but a little shout out to Gotti that gave me this little switch here. -L is a lazy unmount. It'll basically wait till it's not being used anymore and then unmount it from there. Usually it returns directly and you can see that it's not there anymore. I'm not sure exactly what causes that. If anybody knows, then you can actually just comment on the video, and that would actually be great. I would learn what's going on over there. The next thing that we want to do is, and the last thing coincidentally, is update our client file system image for NBD. So LTSP update image. And this is going to squash our LTSP file system with all the new updated packages into a small little file that our LTSP clients can drag down over the network when they're booting. This is basically all we have to do to update our client file system. So with that, I will let you go. Happy LTSPing.